My spoiled little sister threw my cat from the 6th floor to see if cats always land on their feet. So I bought gasoline and a lighter to see if it would burn. She will never forget what I did. This is a cross post. This story is about an S, not about parents. I hope this is allowed here. This happened years ago. My younger sister and I have always been pretty close despite the fact she is entitled and spoiled rotten. Growing up she was always treated better than me and basically got anything she wanted. Nobody in my family really ever said no to her. If she doesn't get her way she will pout, sulk, cry or whine until whoever caves. My S came over to visit me 1 or 2 times a week. We made lunch together and chatted about our life. I gave her a house key for emergencies. This will be relevant later. Besides my S coming over to visit, I didn't have much of a social life. So one month I decided that I would like a companion to keep me company. I decided I really wanted a cat. I spent a few days researching the proper way to care for a cat, vet care, the best food, grooming, dealing with different temperaments, etc. I also bought everything I needed to care for this cat. Food, automatic water bowl, a bunch of toys, cat nip, cat bed, cat tree and a few other things. Once I was ready I started looking for cats to adopt. I decided I wanted a cat, not a kitten. It was at the second shelter I went to that I found Freya. I saw this pure white kitty from a distance. When I went over to her enclosure she immediately started rubbing on the glass and softly meowing. A staff member opened her enclosure so I could pet her. She rubbed all over me and purred so loud she vibrated hard. She even licked my hand several times. I was absolutely in love. Freya is the best cat ever, she is like my child. My S also fell in love with Freya almost immediately. She constantly said how much she wished Freya was hers. She told me how good she would treat her and how she would make her a service animal. I just brushed these comments off. Until one day S said that she deserved to take Freya because she was getting a divorce and needed company. Neither of us have kids. I was completely caught off guard. I told her I would never ever give up my cat. She is basically my child. I thought that would be the end of it. I was so wrong. About 5 weeks after this conversation I came home from work about 5 p.m. I mostly work from home but go into my office a couple times a month. I immediately noticed that Freya didn't meet me at the door. She always meets me at the door. I started to call her but she didn't come. I tried shaking her can of treats but that didn't work either. By this point I am frantically searching every inch of my house. Absolutely no sign of Freya. She wasn't in my house. My heart sank to my stomach when I realized that I must have accidentally let her out when I left for work that morning. Freya is strictly an indoor cat. I felt so guilty and worried about Freya. I called the shelter and inquired about her microchip but they said they didn't have one activated for her. I don't know why. Thought this was standard for shelter pets. I put up missing pet ads in all the local pet groups. I put up flyers everywhere. I knocked on the door of everyone on my block and asked about Freya and if they could keep an eye out for her. I spread some of her litter in the front yard. I put out a humane trap with tuna. I was a mess without my beautiful, sweet cat. I cried so much my face was puffy and I could barely eat or sleep. One day about a week after Freya went missing I was talking to a mutual friend of my S. At one point she casually says, "Oh, have you seen S's new cat? She's so pretty and she has this beautiful white fur." My heart skipped a few beats and then I asked her if she happened to know if the cat had a collar. She said yes, it had a red collar. That's when I just knew it was my Freya. I could feel it in my gut. I hung up and immediately called my S. I began yelling the second she answered. "You effing B-word, you stole my cat. How could you? How dare you? You had no right to take my cat. How could you do this to me?" Her voice was dripping with attitude when she said, "I told you I deserve to have Freya more than you. She is meant to be my cat. Don't worry, I'll take good care of her." My face went red and anger coursed through me. I told her, "No. You will give me my cat right now or I will absolutely call the police and press charges for theft and for breaking and entering." I figured she used her key to access my home while I was at work. I picked up Freya, and the key to my house, about 30 minutes later. My sister practically threw her at me. I started yelling and she just sat there with a smirk. She said she wanted the cat because she deserved her. She likes white, seriously? And she would take better care of her. I told her she was delusional and walked away. I went very low contact with my S after that. She no longer comes over for visits. We don't talk or text. We only see each other on major holidays with other family.